The NBA has a serious problem. No, it is not all of the domestic abusers that they allow to play in their league, or the potential corruption that sports betting has brought. Okay, maybe those are bigger deals, but screw it, we're here to talk about the NBA draft lottery because this is a YouTube video, alright? Now, if you're here, it's probably because you're a sad, little lonely Detroit Pistons fan who is sick and tired of the system and believes that, I don't know, we need change. Shout out communism, let's make a real difference here. Obviously, I'm joking, but let's be real, there ain't shit to do in Detroit, alright? Except watch their mediocre ass sports teams, eat some mid food, and, look at that stupid little sign on the side of the road. Now, obviously, for the last 2 years, the Detroit Pistons have been getting screwed over, slapped in the face by the lottery gods, because they've had the worst record in the NBA for 2 years running. Okay, maybe the Washington Wizards have been giving them a little run for their money, but still, they've been a shitty-ass organization, and what do they get rewarded for that? 2 fifth overall picks. Absolutely terrible, and of course that's going to happen with the way the system is in place. Right now, they got, 14% odds to land the first overall pick, 13% odds for the second, 12% odds for the third, and so on. And then, that 5th overall pick, 47% odds. Yeah, of course it's gonna happen more often than not, which is why it's happened for the last 2 seasons now. Because 47% odds to land that 5th overall pick, there's kind of an issue there. Alright, now you may be wondering, why would Adam Silver do this? Why would he make the lottery odds so bad for the worst teams in the NBA? Well, you can thank Sam Hinkie for this. He had the brilliant idea called The Process all these years ago in Philadelphia, where the game plan was, and hear me out here, we're going to put the worst possible team on the court so we can have that number 1 overall pick and we can build a true contender in 3 to 5 years, 2016, they had 10 wins. You cannot tell me they were trying to win it all that year. Absolutely not. Ish Smith getting 32 minutes a game? What is Ish Smith doing on a basketball court? Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor? Okay, those were 2 big-ass busts. They were supposed to be something. Didn't work out. It's not really their fault they got all these minutes and weren't able to capitalize. Those guys were supposed to be good. Absolute doo-doo. Robert Covington? Rocco, a name I haven't heard since, 2020, back when he was absolute garbage on 2K. Last time I heard his name. Anyway, you can't tell me the Philadelphia 76ers were trying to win, because they weren't. They were losing on purpose. Now, what did that get them? Well, the top couple of picks for the next few years. You got guys like Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, and most importantly, Joel Embiid. Now, did that work out? No, it did not work out for the 76ers. Why? Well, Ben Simmons fell off the face of the earth after not dunking on the Atlanta Hawks. Markelle Fultz had to deal with injuries his whole career, and Joel Embiid, well, he's been great. He's won an MVP, but even with all of the talent around him over this last half decade, and even more than a decade, he just hasn't even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So yeah, big flop over there, and now all the other shitty teams in the future have to pay for it. Ergo, the Detroit Pistons. Now, before we continue on with this video, I just wanted to remind you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every subscription goes a long way. We're trying to hit 3,000. If you subscribe, I feel like we can get there. Much appreciated. Now, let's get back to this disaster. Now, the thing with the Pistons is that they are a terribly run organization from the ground up. Every trade they make, every signing they make seems like a terrible decision in the moment, and can you guess what happens? It's a terrible move. Hell, even when the lottery odds were in their favor, they were making the wrong draft pick. These guys cannot draft to save their lives. Greg Monroe, Stanley Johnson, Sekou Demboya, Killian Hayes, like come on, bust after bust after bust. And even when they did hit, like Andre Drummond, he was no number 1, okay? Andre Drummond was solid, maybe even a 3 or 4, could be a 2 on a championship team, who knows? That isn't what happened. They tried to build a team around Andre Drummond, big mistake. And then when they would hit on guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Spencer Dinwiddie, Luke Kennard, Chris Middleton, these are guys that are actual quality role players. They traded them away before they could really blossom in Detroit. All of these guys got traded away too early, and these are solid picks they're making shipped out the door. What are we even doing at this point, Pistons? I would much rather turn on a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever game over any Detroit Pistons basketball 10 out of 10 times. Hell, as a Lakers fan, the only time I even think about buying tickets for a home game is when the Pistons are in town, because can you guess why? They're actually affordable. No one wants to watch Pistons basketball. Now, to be fair to the organization, some of their picks have been really good as of recently. I'm talking Asar Thompson last year with that 5th overall pick. He was a great rookie. Honestly, if Chet Holmgren didn't get injured his real rookie year, and Victor Wembanyama wasn't this freak of nature, maybe Asar Thompson would have been in conversations for Rookie of the Year. Wasn't the case, but still had a great year. He played in 63 games and only started 38 games. What are these rotations you're running, Monty Williams? Look at this roster. It's got zero depth, zero potential, and yet you only gave Asar Thompson to start 38 times. I do not care if he is a rookie. You are the Detroit Pistons. Let this man play as much as possible. He had 8.8 points, about 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He's a very great at the defensive side of the basketball, okay? And then his rebounds, 4.3. Now, he isn't the same type of player his twin out in Houston is, so I wouldn't really compare those numbers, but he has been good. And then we've got Cade Cunningham, the star of this team. He is supposed to take the Pistons out of poverty. You know what he was drafted with? The 1st overall pick only 3 years ago. Honestly, I think the lottery is fine as is. It prevents tanking, so I'm on Adam Silver's side. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Honestly, you Pistons fans need to get off the timeline whining and moaning. You have Cade Cunningham, who you drafted with the 1st overall pick just 3 years ago. Now, his rookie year, fantastic. 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. He had 17.4 points, rebounds 5.5, assists 5.6. Efficiency was dog shit, but he played 32 minutes because there ain't nobody else to play in Detroit. 2nd year, he gets murked 12 games into the season. 3rd year was even better, a huge improvement for Cade Cunningham. All of a sudden, he's averaging 22.7 points on better efficiency. Not great, still needs to work on that. 45% from the field. From the 3-point line, he's shooting about, I want to say 35%. You know, not great, but still better than where he started. Assists, I don't know how he got this. 7.5 assists. Who is he even passing to? No idea. Fucking Evan Fournier in the corner? Couldn't tell me. I didn't watch any Pistons basketball because I don't want to torture myself. I actually like myself. I'm not watching no Pistons basketball. And then rebounds, 4.3. Okay, and that's Cade Cunningham for you. Maybe the 5th overall pick changes things. Hard doubt. You know, what do they do from here? Well, Monty Williams is kind of stuck on that big-ass contract. Maybe he'll change the culture. Again, another hard doubt. If I were a Pistons fan, what am I doing? Leaving Detroit and becoming a fan of a new team. I don't know, man. Anyway, that's about it for this video. You know, if you stayed this long, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're done here. Alright, goodbye.